Okay, guys, Nicholas Rosenberg here, Punching Back Podcast. We are in the downtown LA Arts District, and we're directed and produced by Cult Media. And today we've got my buddy N-Dub in the
What up?
house.
Thanks for having me, man. It's a pleasure.
For show, as
Yep.
my clients say, for show.
For show.
Okay, so you are a rapper.
Yep.
How did you get involved in the rap game?
All my life, man. Ever since that West Side Connection CD came out, I fell in love with hip hop, and I just, at 10 years old, I started writing music. So that's how it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you start? What year was 10 years old? So you were in like what, 7th grade?
No, I was
grade?
in 5th grade. Yeah, when I first started writing, I would write poems. My sister and her little friend came up with a little group.
Okay.
And we were young, we were just kids, but I would write their little lyrics and stuff. So at 10 is when I started really getting creative with my music stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of tunes were you bumping?
At that time,
Yeah.
West Side Connection.
Okay.
That was, Ice Cube, Tupac, Bone Thugs and Harmony. That's when they were real big. Yeah, pretty much that. Biggie, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, even
So between Biggie and Tupac,
you
or is
already
it
know
tied?
West Coast,
West
baby.
Coast,
West
baby.
Coast, baby.
Okay.
No shots to the East, shout out to the East Coast. But yeah.
But not the one in
Not
South LA. That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay. So tell us some of your influencers on your music.
So definitely Tupac, because he's a poet, got real creative. And like I said, the West Side Connection, I got it tatted right here.
Wow.
I got Tupac
Wait,
tatted
let me
right
see that
here.
again.
So that's their
So he's got his,
the W, the West Side Connection. That was their first CD. Had the hand. This whole arm's dedicated to music. I got California Love right here with Wifey's lips on it. So that's the Tupac song, and Dr. Dre, California Love. I got Biggie tatted right here on the inside. A little turntable. But those are what I grew up, listening to. Eazy-E. Of course, you were Hispanic growing up in the late 90s, you were bumping Eazy-E,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, first time you were in the recording studio, can you walk us through that?
Yeah. So shout out to Danny Boy Records. He was the first studio I ever went to. It was inside of a garage, but he had the full setup there. It was just dope. It was the first song I recorded was called Soldier. It was there at his studio, and I fell in love with that, with the studio. I wanted to constantly keep going back, and it was just a dope experience. I stayed up all night. We were drinking, and it was just, I fell in love. Well, I was already in love with it, but I fell in love with it again, learning a new aspect, of recording and all that. So
Let me ask you a weird question. Why do rappers rap all night in the studio, not 9 to 5?
I like to rap now 9 to 5. That it's more of a business, but I think, back then it was more of hanging out, the whole experience of hanging out, getting drunk, smoking, that type of scenery, But now it's like I'm more locked in, more focused. This is the vision I have for the song, and I don't drink. I haven't drank in a couple years, so daytime's always better for me now,
I got you.
Yeah.
Now, what track put you on the map?
Oh man, definitely Cut 'Em Off. You guys make sure you go check it out. Cut 'Em Off. The homegirl Angelina features on it, but it's one of the songs. Like, I just got tired of the stuff around me and the people around me, and that's when I decided to make a change, take my music serious. And people that didn't have my back, 100%, that's when I cut them off. And that song really, really got me out there, got the first 1,000,000 views that I ever had. And stuff started, just doors started opening. And look at now we're, down the line doing a lot more stuff than just music.
Now, if I'm right, you have songs that are part of movies, right? I think
Yeah.
Cholo Zombie.
Cholo Zombie, Sancho Claus, Sam's Cry,
Mm-hmm.
those three
So
movies.
I'll give a shout out to actor Michael Flores, Sancho Claus.
Yep. You guys check out the song I did for him. It's called Sancho Slide.
But is Elbows Up Side to Side? Isn't that you?
Well, Elbows Upside Aside, that's not me. That's originally who's that on that track? Does he know?
I don't know.
Yeah, but Elbows Upside Aside, I kind of, so when he wanted me to do the song, he referenced to that song.
Okay.
So it kind of got a little bit of that feel, but it's way different, you know.
But that song is on the soundtrack of Cholo Zombie, right?
My song, yeah,
Right.
the one I
Okay.
did, yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Now, speaking of film, you're an actor now.
Yep. Going on
Tell
5
me
years.
about that. How'd you get into acting?
Man, so when stuff started taking off with me with his music, I started going to a lot of shows, performing at a lot of shows, meeting new people. I met a group of actors and producers that invited me just to come on set. You know, they didn't tell me they wanted me in the movie or anything. They just told me to come out and check it out. So me being there, you know, they asked me, somebody wasn't there that day, and they asked me if I would fill in, and I filled in. And I fell in love with that, you know. I got paid for it, and I just always loved the arts. So I started doing that, and once I fell in love with it, I was like, let me take this serious. You know, shout out to my coach Anthony Gilardi in Hollywood. I started training with him, and it's 5 years later now. Um, I got 5 feature films. You know, I am the lead in one of those, which is Sam's Cry. And right now I'm at the point where I'm just trying to get an agent. You know, I got my headshots. I have a few reels of mine, and I'm just trying to get representation. You know, to get out there because I've been putting in the work and really, you know, giving it my all to perfect my craft. So.
Now, when you first started, did you come up through from the streets to the set?
Yeah, so when I first started acting, I was already like getting my feet wet, but shout out to Bernice.
Big shout. Much
Yeah,
love.
yeah. She put me in a lot of good positions and a lot of, you know, I did SWAT with her. I did This Fool. I did the Mayans. So she pulled me into a lot. Yes, yep.
Now, how would you compare acting to rapping? It's a different vibe.
Yeah, it's different. Acting is a lot more professional, and you know, and you have to hold that persona of being professional. And with hip hop, you know, it's hip hop. Like you can get your ass whooped in hip hop, you know. So it's like a lot more confrontational music is, and versus you know, acting, it's a lot less confrontational. People don't want to deal with that type of stuff. No drama, you know. Even though there's a bunch of drama in it, it's like, you know, it's one of those situations.
Now, we met, I believe, at the screening of Cholo Zombies, right? You were emceeing.
No. We met at Conejo's. Shout out
Oh,
Conejo.
yeah, right. Okay.
The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's when we
one.
met. We briefly met, and then, you know, we met again at Cholo Zombies premiere.
Right. And that was the 2018 show at the Regal.
Yep.
No, that was 2019 at the
COVID,
Regal.
when COVID was like, I think it was ending or starting.
Okay.
Probably ending.
And shout out to Conejo, much love.
Yeah, man. Thanks for inviting us out to those shows every year. We love them, man. Dope shows. Dope shows.
Now, how do you represent your roots today?
Represent my roots. You know, just giving opportunity for our people. You know, growing up as an artist, there wasn't really a lot of opportunity. And I take pride in, you know, being able to help the next man out and, you know, kind of fulfill some of his dreams, you know, because who doesn't want to, if you're an artist, who doesn't want to get up on a big stage and open up for these big artists. I know I did, and I know, you know, I really hustled when that time came, you know, to be on other people's shows. So, and it, not just anybody lets you on shows. So
Mhm.
I just try to give opportunity, you know, opportunity.
Now, speaking of shows, you now are a major concert producer,
Yes, sir.
and you're the guy behind Nationwide.
Yes, sir.
So tell me
But we're
about
a
that.
team. We're a team though.
How did that start?
So it all started, what was it, 2018,
Mm-hmm.
2019. Um, I was doing my music. That's when I was getting like the millions of views. Um, and Jimmy O'Meara, he had a
Mm.
meeting with all the Hispanics at that time. So he wanted to start, he built a channel on Spotify, you know, for everybody. And he wanted to just, it was a movement,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to get
La
us out there.
Movida.
Yeah, and it was something real dope. So when we had that meeting, I had the idea and I told one of the homies, I was like, we should do a show,
Hmm.
you know, because we got this opportunity with Jimmy. Like let's make something of it, you know. So that's when we started the show. And Summer Nights was based on Latino artists, you know, getting on that main stage and pushing us out there. So that was the whole um start of it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
getting us out there as far as artists and also providing that opportunity. So it all started with that. And, you know,
And
we
the first one was called Michelada
Summer
Summer Night,
Nights Michelada Fest. Yep.
and that was at the Adelanto Stadium.
Adelanto Stadium. Then we had Summer Nights Takeover in downtown
Mm-hmm.
LA. Then we had Summer Nights when we had Corrupt. I think that one was just Summer Nights
Mm-hmm.
when we had Corrupt and Dub C. And then we had Summer Nights in Hollywood. So the
Mm-hmm.
5th annual is coming up. That's gonna be Summer Nights in downtown LA. You've been to that venue. It's an
Mm-hmm.
amazing
Yeah, I
venue.
love that venue.
Yeah, very nice venue. Um, that's coming September 13th. So you guys look out for that. Make sure you know, we got some good surprises coming for that.
For sure. And then also tell me, for back in the day, what's the difference?
So back in the day, we like to incorporate a lot of like classic music, you
Mm-hmm.
know, um, old school music like Baby Bash, MC Magic, Little Rob. But we also, it's not just back in the day. People are like, oh, he's not a back in the day artist.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just that. It's just the feeling, you know, the feeling back in the day when people really didn't have problems and, you know, stuff like that. We kind of give that feeling, you know, back in the day, just having a good time. Um, yeah.
So what makes these shows different from other shows?
Um, I think the network, you know, really spotlighting artists and people because like I said, there's not a lot of opportunity and we just really spotlight a lot of people in the culture, you know, whether it's actors, models, rappers, you know, lawyers, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
we like to spotlight and we've created a network. So, you know, when we have these parties, we have over 100 special guests
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like one big reunion and, you know, good vibes and people wanting to meet this person or wanting to meet that person, you know?
So also, I think that it's a family friendly. Three generations can come to the show.
Exactly.
And then for the next one coming up June 28th, we're going to have tattoo artists. We're going to have a bikini contest. I'll be a judge.
Yep.
We're going to have multiple vendors. We got car clubs.
Bike show, everything. We got, you know, from beginning to end, there's gonna be something to do at that event. There won't be one dull moment. Um, People are really gonna like it. So make sure you guys, you know, look out for the hotel codes that we will be putting up, you know, for discounts. That way you guys don't have to take that long drive back to LA, you know.
And how can they find you?
So you guys can look up the page on Instagram, which is Nationwide Presents. You can also find the event on Eventbrite, and just look up the event. It's called Back in the Day Super Show.
Now, what's the hardest part of putting together one of these shows?
The hardest part for this show, I would say just filling in the cars. Now we're pretty up there, you know, but a lot of car clubs are down the hill, and you know, and just we got that steep hill coming up, so a lot of them are scared to drive their car up. It's gonna be
Oh,
summer, so they do have to pull them in, but I would say that's just the more difficult part. But luckily, you know, we got about 60 cars right now.
oh wow.
Yeah, so we'll have
I'll pound to that.
yeah, we'll have a good 100 cars at least.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be
Oh
good.
yeah. And I forgot to say that we're not in Adelanto, but we're at the Victorville Fairgrounds.
SBC Fairgrounds, yes. And what we're allowing to do too, you guys are here, you guys are hearing this first. Uh, you guys have early access if you guys want to get tattooed. So we'll put a list of tattoo artists and you can go check out their work. If you book an appointment with them, you'll be allowed into the event at 1 p.m. Besides that, it starts at 3 p.m.
Yeah. So come and get inked.
Yeah, for real.
All right. So what keeps you motivated? Because you're doing a lot of projects, you're doing a lot of stuff.
Um, Really my passion, you know, my family, um, just the drive, you know, I've been doing this for so long and
Mm-hmm.
um I'm not gonna stop ever, you know. This is what I do. This is how I feed my family. So I just family and just, you know, the passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to younger artists coming up?
Um this is a business. It's a business. You gotta really think of it in a business mind because you know people ain't really gonna take you serious if you don't, and if you don't take it as a business, because at the end of the day it's a business. So you just got to put that in your head and don't look at it, you know, everybody has to pay in the beginning. Don't look at it
Mm-hmm.
as you're having to pay to play, or look at it as an investment. There has been artists, as you know, that have came to our show and have been signed, have
Mm-hmm.
been discovered, have, you know, met other artists and get features. So just take it as a business, and yeah, you'll get a lot further.
Right. That happened for Amanda, right?
Yeah,
Carrera.
yeah.
Shout out Amanda
Shout
Carrera.
out Amanda.
She's been on the show.
She'll be performing too. So you guys make sure you check out her set. She got a couple new songs, that California Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure you guys check that out on YouTube. It's on YouTube right now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid, yup. Kool-Aid and Mr. Angel, baby.
Yeah, and shout out to Kool-Aid. She's been on the show.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next for NDub? What's the new chapter?
So the new chapter is, you know, definitely bringing a new event besides our yearly events that we do. I was talking to Prime about it. Um, Maybe doing like, well, we won't put it on here. They're
Yeah,
just gonna
yeah,
have
yeah.
to see. I'll talk to you about it later. But yeah,
But
as far as what end up got coming, so looking for an agent right now.
mhm.
Patiently doing that. I'm not in no big rush. These shows, I have a EP that's gonna be dropping that I've
Oh,
been working on. So you guys stay in the look for that. That will be dropping probably around the same time as the show. So yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Just hustling, bro. Just trying to get to it, you know?
who going back to the shows, the concerts, what are some of your artists that we haven't booked that you want to work with?
Ooh, all right. So right now, DJ Quick is one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully we can get him for this next event for Summer Nights. Um, who's the guy we were talking about? Santa Fe Clan,
Mm-hmm. Right?
real dope, real dope.
How about War?
Oh yeah, War.
I'm big on War.
Yeah, we can do War. You know, War is really dope. Any of those old school, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, there's a lot of old school people that we haven't got yet.
Right.
But maybe I was thinking maybe we can do like a R&B,
Okay.
back in the day R&B next year. You know, get like a Shanti, you know, somewhere somebody on a higher scale. You know,
Right.
yeah.
I got you.
Yes. Sir.
Now, how would you like to be remembered? I know you're a young guy, but
I would like to be remembered as solid business. You know, always kept my word. um, and just opportunity. Created a lot of opportunity, and the reason why a lot of stuff has happened and is
Mhm.
happening. Yep.
Now, as an actor, what's the most challenging role you've played?
I would say Sam's Cry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And half of that movie, I wasn't even getting training.
Okay.
So, me, I can tell the difference, but it talks about a lot of mental health, and, so I had to put myself in certain situations, to feel some certain stuff. But um, the story is crazy. The story is crazy, definitely. Have you seen it?
Tell me about your character.
So the
Walk us
character,
through without spoiling.
yeah, so his dad used to beat his mom, so he was traumatized by that as a little kid. Um, and he was good. He wasn't a bad kid. He just he ended up going to juvenile hall because of some friends.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of the friends gave him some pills to give to somebody else, and he gave the pills to the guy, and the guy OD'd.
Mm.
So he was just like, he wasn't from a neighborhood or nothing, but he hung out with some of the guys and stuff. So he ended up getting juvenile hall life. He went to
Mm.
YA, seen a lot of stuff in YA, so it you know it messed him up more. So when he got out of YA, he was in there for what, like 14 years.
Wow.
Got out of YA, started living with his dad to try to mend that relationship. His dad ends up calling the cops because they get into an argument. They send him to Patton for 1 day, and they end up killing him that day.
Hmm.
First day in Patton, because he didn't want to take his medication.
Wait, who
So
kills him?
Patton
The
Hospital.
patients or
No,
the
the
doctors?
doctors.
Oh.
Yeah, so they passed like laws because of this and everything, but
Hmm.
they pretty much like put their knee on his neck. He couldn't breathe and
Oh.
suffocated him like that. They injected up with some stuff to like calm him down. But he ended up passing away, and I got to meet his mom and everything while we were shooting. So
Hmm.
it was difficult because you got to respect these people because they were real people, and
Mm-hmm.
his mom is sitting there on set, so
Wow.
you got to really take these roles serious, as an
Tell me
actor.
who the writer director is, because I.
Angel Ray.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I've
yeah,
met her many times.
yeah,
Wow.
yes,
Okay. So for everybody who hasn't seen it, check out Sam's Cry. I'm pretty sure you killed it.
yeah,
Pretty sure.
yes, sir. And it's on Urban Soul TV.
Okay. Now, did you relate to that role in any way?
Um, there were similarities, because as an actor, you got to find the similarities.
Mm-hmm.
So going, being in trouble with the law at a young age and hanging around the wrong people and stuff like that. I went through all that stuff. So yeah, there was definitely
Right.
relatable, situations.
As an actor, you have to tap in to your feelings, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And what was it like to play that role? Because this is a person who has a mental health condition, and you're not a JCat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just have to make sense of it, It's just pretty much I can't when I'm breaking down the character, I'm not thinking what I think,
Mhm.
I'm kind of thinking what makes more sense of why he was thinking like this and stuff like that. And it was his past trauma. So what I do is I find similar things that made me feel like pain or certain things, and that's how I tie it in,
Mm.
as far as emotion and stuff, like remembering how something made you feel.
Mhm.
Not necessarily saying, "Oh, this happened, so think about my grandma that passed, and that's gonna." No, you just remember the pain, the feeling
Mhm.
of how that felt, and get to that point.
Do you use the words emotional key?
Emotional key.
Yeah, like let's say you're grieving
Yeah.
and you think back on someone who passed, and then you're able to recreate that feeling for
It's
acting.
you think about the feeling. You don't think
Mhm.
about, you know, that same exact moment, because then you're just it's harder, then you're acting,
Mhm.
you got to really, when you do your character work and everything, you break down, and you understand these characters of why they're doing what they're
Mhm.
doing, so
Yeah, how do you prepare for your films?
man. So first thing I do is I read the full script as just a reader, and then I read it again over and over, jot all the facts down around about my character. Then I start tying in the similarities, um, creating backstories of pieces that don't make sense to bring it all together.
Mhm.
And then just doing all that, bro, just really understanding the story, what's going on, why is he saying this, always why,
Mhm.
so that's pretty much how I prep. um, just really knowing and understanding every scene, why the scene, because nothing's random,
Mhm.
especially from good writers. Nothing's at random, so you really got to just pay attention to everything. One little thing that another character's saying might give you a lot about your character.
Right.
So it's just preparing, really knowing the story is the most important part. Knowing what story you're telling.
Let me ask you this. Are there any roles that you would not take to play?
Um, yeah, there is some roles I wouldn't
Mhm.
take. Yeah.
Okay. What director would you like to work with? Who's your
Oh.
dream director?
Um, what is it? Spielberg?
Oh, Spielberg?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then there's another one. They got a group of people and they do a lot of projects and it's always the same people. I forget his name. But Bree, OC Bree works with them.
Okay.
So I submitted my stuff to her. Shout out to OC Bree.
Yeah, big shout. She'll be there.
Yeah, shout out the team real quick, man. My bad. We haven't shout out the team. We got Snoops back there in the back. Yo,
Big Joe.
yeah, Big Joe, Raider Tommy, man. Raider Tommy really helps out. He's there, every step of the way.
I'll shout out Entrepreneur Queen.
Yup.
She's with
Yeah.
Tommy.
OC Bree. We got George really stepping it up right now. We got Full Events. We got No Fronts. Shout out to Rosenberg. You guys already know. Yeah.
All right. And tell me some of your favorite films growing up.
Um, Bronx Tale is one of
Mhm.
them. Dope movie. Um, Blood In, Blood Out, of course. American Me, of course. Kids. Have you seen Kids?
Mm-mm.
You gotta watch that, bro. Dope movie. Um,
Wait, that's not the famous New York photographer who filmed the 13-year-olds? It's a documentary.
like it's kind of looks documentary type,
Hmm.
but it's not a documentary.
Right. Okay. I think you were thinking of the same film.
Maybe. Yeah, they were younger kids and stuff.
Hmm.
So just growing up watching that was
Okay.
dope. Um, there's a lot, bro. There's a lot. I love movies.
Hmm.
That's one thing. I never knew I wanted to be an actor until I went on set, but
Right.
I've always been into movies.
And do you do some writing?
Yeah, I do a little bit of writing.
Hmm.
I have ideas. I get real creative, so I just have to follow through. And we had talked about maybe we'll sit down and write something, but
Hmm.
definitely want to start writing our own content. The main goal is to have our own production.
Hmm.
From audio to lighting to everything.
What are your thoughts on this swelling movement of Chicano Hollywood that
I
you're a part of?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I just people are quick to knock each other down, or only, do stuff when it's beneficial to them.
Hmm.
But the people that ain't, man, I like to work with those type of people, like-minded people that are just, we got the same goals. We're all trying to make it, nobody's better than the next person, and we can help each other. It's
Hmm.
a lot better when we help each other,
Yeah, the unity.
Yeah. And it like the whole thing with Jimmy, he got all these people together, but now that whole one group is split into probably like 12 different groups, you know? And it sucks, bro. It sucks to see, but you know, we just stay focused and keep messing with people that are like-minded to us and have those same goals, you know? But
Does creativity run in your family?
I would say so.
Because talk to me about your mom, because she's always a big supporter.
Yeah.
She has your back.
Yeah. Shout out to mom. Shout out to moms. Yeah, man. Mom's been there. She's always had my back and always supported anything, you know, that I wanted to do and stuff like that. She played the mom and the dad role growing up.
So your dad wasn't in the picture. Is that what you mean?
He was in the picture until I was 9. Then I didn't see him for 18 years because he got deported. So I see him from time to time. You know, I go out to TJ and stuff, but he's out there. He's doing good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Any final thoughts?
Final thoughts? Nah, man, just I feel like I've been doing this so long, but at the same time, I feel like this is just the beginning. It's a new chapter. We've put in a lot of work, you know, so it's our time's here, man. Nationwide Presents. Make sure you guys follow us. We have a lot. Make sure you follow my acting page, which is actor Adrian Barron on Instagram. We ain't stopping, man. We're just gonna keep coming, keep going, and we got some dope stuff lined up for you guys. So just follow the pages. Shout out to Rosenberg for having us here. Shout out to Prime, you know, and everybody just remember to stay sucker free.
Sucker free. Okay, guys, Nicholas Rosenberg. It's a wrap. Punching Back Podcast, Cult Media.